In this Atlantic article, it just goes on to say that they just were really shocked at the financial, and they use words like financial impotence, financial fragility, financially insecure, financially distressed, and basically they just talking about how a sizable minority or a slim majority of Americans are basically just on thin ice. Another example is this: when Bankrate did a survey in 2014, and this is a little bit dated, but in 2014, it just echoes that same Fed data that they found that 38% of Americans would cover a $1,000 emergency room visit or a $500 car repair. They wouldn't do it with money that's saved. They said that two reports published by the Pew Charitable Trust found that 55% of American households didn't have enough liquid savings to replace a month's worth of lost income. So if you lose your job today, will you be able to at least cover the bills for a month? Because if like I know, unemployment, even before and in great times and good times, it could take 2 weeks to a month for you to get your first check. And then that first check isn't going to be like, your regular paycheck is. So we've seen this in 2008 during the financial crisis. We've seen this in the early 2000s when the mortgage crisis, banking crisis, whatever you want to call it. We've seen that happen, and then we've seen it happen again with this recent recession that we were in. That you just can't expect for your unemployment benefits to kick in the moment you lose your job. I mean, it's a blessing if it does, but a lot of time they get swamped during these economic events, and just in normal times you can't depend on it. You don't want to depend on it, so we want to stay away from that. And one of the easiest ways to get away from that is just living within your means. And I don't want to say it like it's easy, but $500 emergency, it's exactly what it sounds like. Textbooks, emergency room visit, new tires, computer for a job or work, unexpected bill, or even vacation. You got your vacation, saved up all year for your vacation, and then you go out of town or you go out of the country, and what's your urge to do? Your urge is to immediately throw everything on a credit card, or either you empty out your savings account, and then when you get back home, you're trying to figure out what are you going to do for money. It's not the best situation to be in. So with that being said, we just trying to avoid these $500 emergencies. And we don't want to be a part of that 70% of Americans who have less than $1,000 in their account. And that's a reference from Statistica, where they did the survey, and it's just shocking to see. I mean, most Americans have literally under, like, you even get beyond 70% when you start talking about who has $5,000 in their bank account. And then you start getting into about the 20% of Americans who can actually about 20% of Americans who have more than 5% in their $5,000 in their account. So we're going to try and start saving, and I'm going to give you some strategies real quick on how to work on that and how to better your financial situation. And we can't stop these $500 emergencies from happening, but we can definitely manage the toll they take on us financially, and just increase our reserves over time, so that when one of those $500 emergencies hit, that we either have money in our savings or that we have our debt paid off, so that we can just throw it on our credit card. And I'm not a big fan of telling people to charge things to their credit card, but the old saying is keep your credit card balance low. It'll help your credit score, but it'll also be good to use your credit card in emergencies. And I done had emergencies where I didn't have any room left on my credit card to put it on, so I had to use actual cash. And most of the time it's better to use cash, but sometimes if you have low debt, it's better to keep your money in your savings account and just use that credit card, and make sure you pay it off over time. Because I know if I have a $500 emergency and I have a low credit card balance and a low interest rate, I'd rather throw it on a card, because I can't pay my student loan with a credit card. I can't pay my mortgage with a credit card. So even though I have that $500, that $1,000 in my bank account, if I did, I would still hesitate to pay it in cash, because one, I can pay it off installments on my credit card and I can build a positive credit history. But two is because you want to keep cash reserve in your savings account as much as possible, and like I said, pay that debt off that you owe the credit card company. That's the most important thing if you're going to put it on a credit card company. But you don't want to be out here not having any money, or not being able to pay your rent because you had an emergency room visit, if you are living check to check. And even if you're not, sometimes it's better just to keep money in your account and pay off the credit card to build that positive payment history. That's the one thing about credit cards. They get you both ways. If you use it, you owe money. If you don't use it, you're not building credit. So use those credit cards sparingly. Use them strategically. Keep money in your savings or your checking account so you can always have something to fall back on, and keep a low balance on your credit card.